TFG, if you're cool, that's a great place to start. Like, should orgs get
Yeah,
in? And
yeah. Let's talk about orgs.
honestly, if you look at Kungarna's history, right? And not to make this about Kungarna necessarily, but I think it's a good example. The way you guys got into Fortnite was you picked up a couple of players with a couple hundred followers. Those players were some nobodies named Epic Whale and Unknown Army back in Fortnite. Now they're some of the biggest names in professional Fortnite. So easily someone could have said the same thing as when FaZe Clan and NRG and all these massive organizations in Fortnite were popping off and dominating and signed all the content creators and signed all the top players. And here we are 3 years later. So I'd love to get your take on that, TFG.
Yeah, well, I mean, the start of KNG really came out of nowhere. It wasn't even supposed to be an organization. I was just looking to make more money off of YouTube, right? And lucky enough, I recruited some of the best underrated and unknown players to ever touch a gaming controller or a PC, right? Like, they went on. Epic Whale got second place in the Fortnite World Cup. Like, that's just incredible. Unknown Army went on to be the greatest controller player of all time. And off of that, we were able to start this organization. And since then, we've just been expanding and expanding. And the reason we got into Apex Legends is because I know Graceful from competing together on an Overwatch team as pros on Splice back in like 2017. We lived in Boston together. And I just started playing Apex because I was bored. And I saw a Reddit post about him in G2. And I was like, wait a minute, Graceful? Wait a minute, he's one of the best? Oh, I'm gonna hit him up. And then boom, we signed him like a week later. And then I got in a call with Shaheen. He's the head of esports over at EA. And he kind of broke down what's coming up in the future for me. And I was like, okay, I definitely got to continue and sign a bunch of streamers and creators. And now, we have a bunch of amazing people on our organization. So in order to, get to this level, you got to be committed to the scene, right? And for these orgs that want to come in, they got to come in and they got to want to be a part of it, right? That's what I think about it, at least. If you want to be in Apex or any other game,
right?
Yeah,
the games look for that. Like Shaheen, like the game wants you to like invest and like be fully committed to the game. They don't want you like halfway dipping only 1 foot in type deal. Mm-hmm. They want to give you what you put in, right? And you're going all in. You're doing the right thing. Absolutely. For sure.
Yeah, and the fact that you guys sign a North American team and basically repeat the same exact thing that happened at the World Cup, you guys win the North American Championships. Congrats to Kungarna.
Well, what can I say? I got an eye for talent. I don't know.
Yeah, that just stinks. Just
Listen, you guys had the most points from Rob. Which, by the way, at some point we got to talk about match point format. Zach, I'm just going to get your take, but no, I think. Just to kind of wrap up that conversation, or at least just plus one that conversation. Yeah, the wholehearted answer is yes. I think org should be getting into Apex now because we don't know necessarily if the top teams, top players now are going to be the top teams and top players in a year and 2 years. Don't get me wrong, I love where we're at right now, especially in North America with C9, TSM, NRG. There's great storylines, but I think the future is bright. I think Apex is just going to continue to grow, and I think orgs want to get involved now for sure.
Heck yeah. And real quick before we wrap up that topic, I know a lot of the discussions about like 100 Thieves or a FaZe clan coming in. We don't necessarily need them to come in. It'd be great if they did, but even if it's some mid-tier orgs, some other orgs like Kungarna, any orgs coming in, swooping up those teams who do have a chance to get top 10, that'll really help the scene out more, So I would love to see anybody hop in, whatever org it is.
Yeah, and completely agree with that comment. I think the more organizations, the more opportunities, even amateur teams or lesser known teams, even if it's a small salary or a stipend or whatever it is, the more opportunities they have to compete, I think the better. But then if you also look, I'm going to flip it back to the other side of the coin, the impact like on 100 Thieves would have, a FaZe clan would have on Apex to help bring new eyeballs in. I mean, it would just be astronomical. As we've seen so much growth already in the last 6 to 8 months in Apex. I can't even imagine if we have kind of content creation machines like some of those orgs. I mean, Zach, I don't know, what are your thoughts?
It's an impossible argument for someone like me, right? Because, like, no offense, but at the end of the day, you can say whatever you want here, and like it kind of is no big deal. Like TFG can say whatever he wants here, kind of is no big deal. Whatever I say right here, it will get like dragged into group chats or personal DMs or whatever, right? Like just between me and other pro players. So I don't mind being honest, and dude, don't hate me for being honest if you're watching this and you're a pro player and this affects you. But like, I really don't see 100 Thieves or like FaZe getting in the comp side. I think there are a vast amount of really talented content creators in the Apex scene that are unsigned. That's just unbelievable. And I think the reason they haven't gotten picked up is because one, orgs either already have the content creators they have, like NRG, they don't need more necessarily, right? Or the org just doesn't have the money. Like, no offense, but like picking up Timmy, man, that's not cheap as a content creator. Picking up Wig, there's money there. Picking up Daltouche, there's money there. Now, Daltouche is signed, so that's a bad example, but you get the point. Now, on the flip side of it, it's like, you're picking up Timmy, he gets all these numbers, it's really great. So you would love to see 100 Thieves Timmy type deal, FaZe Timmy type deal. However, competitive is different, right? When you sign a 100 Thieves comp team, you want to see them win if you're 100 Thieves. You sign a FaZe comp team, you want to see them win.
Yeah.
We're talking top tier orgs. And right now, there's just no top tier teams to get. There's barely any mid tier teams, in my opinion, to get. My honest opinion, if 100 Thieves and FaZe want to get in the game, they just need to go buy out a team. There's like 100 Thieves is a way bigger org than COG. I love COG. I like the people on COG. I've talked to them before. Great people. But 100 Thieves probably can offer things that COG can't. And COG is a good enough team where if 100 Thieves bought that roster out, that's definitely something that like they can work with. However, 100 Thieves going and picking up like, I don't want to say names or anything, but a mid-tier roster who's going to consistently make finals but not place ever in the top 5. It's just like, it's hard to convince myself as a competitor that that's a smart decision for the org, you know? So I don't blame them for not getting in.
Well, you're right for the most part there. You know, 100 Thieves and FaZe Clan, it's not likely they're going to jump into Apex anytime soon. They're waiting. They're waiting for what happens next, right? And when that's on the horizon, when that time comes, there will be the next up-and-coming team, right? There's going to be that team that is now good, like the aim assist or whoever, you know, was just recently gaining steam, right? And that's who 100 Thieves or FaZe Clan will sign.
Interesting. Yeah, that's exactly what you guys did. You know, KNG, obviously you guys picked